like to get the energy flowing through my hands. Welcome, 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 welcome. I hope you had a great new year. I hope you were somewhere safe. I hope you were with family and friends, and I hope that you were appreciated and not tolerated. This is the first video of the year. Welcome wherever you're at. 2024, my theme is multiply. 2023 was interesting, but if you had a dope 2023, send me some of your energy. 2024 is about multiply, but before we get into our first video of the year, go ahead and like the video for the algorithm. Go ahead and give it a share. Shout out to you already in advance. 2024 is about multiplying, whether it's love, health, right? Whatever you like, whatever you enjoy, 2024 is about multiply. So I want you to multiply abundance. I want you to multiply love. I want you to multiply all the good things in your life. That's what 2024 is about. That's my mindset. Multiply. So welcome to Heaven on Earth. You're at the right place at the right time. Here we use personal development as a vehicle to get heaven now. A lot of religions teach in a heaven and hereafter. Well, on this platform, we focus on getting heaven now. We don't want to die to get to heaven. We want to get to heaven now in our finances and our health and our relationships and our education. Whatever is important to us, we want heaven now. And you can get heaven now without dying. All you have to do is be real, be reflective, be enlightened, be accountable, and be limitless. I have good news, ladies and gents, that no matter what you've been through, no matter what's going on in your life, no matter your gender, no matter your relationship status, personal development is for everybody, right? And if you have babies, I want you to keep your babies close. And if you got somebody that's loving on you, please let them. Let them. Give yourself grace for the past. Give yourself grace for everything that's going on right now. And give yourself grace for everything that's going to happen in the future. Welcome to Heaven on Earth. My name is Ken Billions. It's an honor and a pleasure to chop it up with you. And for those that know me, salute to you. And if this is your first time meeting, what's up? Holla at me. Shout out to my fam for coming through already on the putting it on the wood. Appreciate you. Happy New Year, man. I hope you and the family are safe. This is definitely a year of personal development, and it's about multiplying. So I hope that I can be a piece to your multiplication puzzle. So shout out to you. Happy New Year to you. And yes, yes, I just crossed the 40 club, right? And that's our conversation today, right? So shout out to you with the 1999 super chat. Appreciate you. My birthday was well. I'm good and I'm ready to go. And speaking of birthdays, I just crossed the 40 threshold. So I am the OG of young niggas, but I am the youngster of old niggas. And that's how 40 is. So my conversation today, speaking of 40, is the surprising truth about turning 40. My 40 life lessons. So I listed 40 things or 40 lessons that I learned turning 40, right? So on my 40th, I was in a humorous mood and I just started jotting things that was a aha moment turning 40. Some of these are abstract. Some of these are humorous. Some of these come from just contemplation. Some of these are silly. But these are my 40 things that I learned turning 40. Some of these you may be able to relate, some you may not, right? But at 40, it's all coming together, right? So these are my surprising truths that I learned in my 40 years so far. So remember, if you are 40, you are the OG of young niggas, but you are the baby of old people. Because somebody that's 80 and 90 looks at you as a young man and they look at you as a young woman. So salute to y'all. And this year is about multiply. But without further ado, I want to go to my 40 things that I learned turning 40. Number 40. It's not my job to save the world. You know, as a young man, I was always talking about society this and the matrix that. And I remember I used to decide what was important for other people. I would decide what other people should eat. I would decide and make the choice for other people how their life should look. You know, had all these books, had Jordan Maxwell, I had David Icke, I was reading Anthony Hilder, Myron Fagan, uh, 13 bloodlines of the Illuminati, right? And I would acquire all this information, and without asking, I would decide how other people should live. Society this, society that. I was a person that would use they. They don't want us. They this, they that. The Matrix. You know, I would never be able to put a name to the face, right? And I was running around on a crusade trying to save humanity. But it's not my job to save the world. I didn't come here for that. And one of the lessons in my 40 years that I learned, it's nobody's job to save the world because the world doesn't need saving. Mm-mm. Everybody comes here for a specific task, even if that's to crash out. That is their birthright. Not everybody wants to read. Not everybody wants personal development, right? Some people want to be deaf, dumb, and blind. It's your job to move out the way. Because those that are going to be on the path, you'll meet them walking. You will lose yourself trying to save the world. That is my 40th lesson. That's what I had to learn the hard way. When I was not even asking people what was important to them, I was on my knowledge high horse. Society, society, society. The only thing you can change is yourself. And if you really, really, really want to change the world, be what you're talking about. Talk about what works for you. Share with others your skills, your techniques. Share with others things that you found that works for you. But guess what? Here's the thing. In your sharing, whether that's with your children, with your community, with your spouse, it can be your parents or your best friends. Understand, people have a right not to accept what you're selling. So just because you found Christianity, just because you found Islam or New Age philosophies and principles or crystals or astrology, nobody has to fuck with you. That's for you and you only. So don't call nobody sheep. Don't bang on the table. Don't stomp your feet in protest. It's not your job to save the world. So that's my number 40, right? Learn that lesson and learn it quick. People have a right to tell you no, right? And people have a right to not accept the path that you're on, right? Live and let die. That's number 40. Number 39. Words mean different things to different people. Learn that and learn that very quickly. When you are talking to people, you are talking to the pictures that they have in their mind associated with words. Ask somebody what success means. Notice it'll sound different than your definition, right? There's the definition and then the definition we have in our heads. Understand that people make up their own definitions for words, and it's usually in a picture. So when you are talking to somebody, understand they're from a different culture, a different nationality, their age is different, their experiences are different. They might have a emotional connection to the words that you're saying. They might have a traumatizing experience to the words that you're saying. God does not mean the same to everybody. Neither does love, neither does success, neither does family, neither does marriage. We throw these words out and then we are surprised when other people don't go by the definition that we associate with. Words mean different things to different people. I had to learn that in my travels because I would speak from a place of absolute and I would expect everybody to go by my meaning. Right? Doesn't work like that. When you're having a conversation with people, young and old, men or women, you are having a conversation with pictures in their head. Okay? So it's important to ask people, hey, what do you mean by that? Never assume that you and someone go by the same definition just because you are using the same words. Love don't mean the same for everybody, right? That ain't love. No, you have to describe it yourself. God, everybody has a different meaning in their mind. This is why it is very difficult to communicate with each other because no one asks for clarity, right? And we use words and expect other people to go by the meaning that we have. And that's not how this goes, right? So in 2024, when you are communicating with people, number one, you're talking to their algorithm too. So not just the pictures that they have in their head, when you are communicating with people, you are talking to their algorithm. So whatever they've been consuming online, however their algorithm looks, that's what you're going to bump into. You're going to bump into talking points. You're going to bump into stats. You're going to bump into whatever their experience is online. Then you got to get to the definition of words. So when you're talking, if you want to be an effective communicator, especially if you need things to be done, if you're a business owner or married or with your children, just people in your circle, make sure that you are clear in how you communicate. Make sure people understand exactly what you need from them, exactly what the task is. Make sure people get it. And don't assume that words mean the same things to everybody else as it does with you. Right? Remember, God, love, success are things that are in people's heads, right? And you don't live in their head. So you don't know what picture or emotion they have assigned to the word, okay? So number 39, things I learned turning 40. Words mean different things to different people, right? So those that have a desire to communicate better this year, make sure you are being understood, right? Make sure you chunk down on words. Don't assume people know what you're talking about, okay? Because people hear differently, and when you're talking, you don't sound how you think you sound, okay? That's number 39. Y'all with me? Happy New Year to everybody. Number 38. Women are competition just like men. Yes. In America. Lesson I had to learn. I used to think that I was supposed to collaborate with men. Compete with men, but collaborate with women. But in the market, everybody got their fangs out, right? So I would do things like this. I would charge men full price and then give it to a woman at a discount because she was a woman. But then I realized there were women that were competing with me, and it blew my mind. I was late to the party. I didn't understand that women were in the market too. That they want houses, they want bread, they want success, right? And it's a uh, every guy got to kill the trick inside of him so a man doesn't get confused in a woman's damsel in distress. See, that is a good tactic a woman could use to rock a man to sleep, right? And because we come from women, there's always a soft spot. So I'll charge a man $100 and give it to a woman for 40. Bad business. Same price for everybody, right? If the game ain't free for a man, then it's not free for a woman because it's business. And this is the game, right? So I learned that women are comp and women treat each other like comp. And it's a mistake for a man to be fooled by beauty. It's a mistake for a man to be fooled by curves. If you're in this to make money, women got money just like men. Keep your price the price. Keep the main thing the main thing. That is a good businessman. That is a good businesswoman, right? Keep the main thing the main thing. As long as we are in the market and you have products and services and you have things of value, it is dirty macking if you charge one gender a price and give the other gender a discount solely based on their gender. Bad business, right? So in my 40 years, what I had to learn is, wait a minute, men ain't just comp, women are too, right? Hard pill to swallow because I thought that I collaborate with women and compete with men. And then I see women were competing with me. I'm like, oh shit, that's my bad. They are doing exactly what they're supposed to do. If they can get it off me for free because they bat their eyes and throw a little sexual gesture, oh, Ken, stop, right? That's the game. That's a finesse. If I was a woman, I would do that on a man too. Right? I would conceal my intentions. I would pose as a friend and work as a spy, right? Because the man can't see past glamour. And that's a finesse. Right? So, if message to a woman, every man has an inner trick. It's just by nature. It's in us. It's part of our shadow thing that we have to kill. Mama, 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 look at me. We carry that mama, look at me into adulthood. So I'm not a lady, but if I was a lady, I would use my glamour and not for the man to give me money. Here's what I would do. I would use my glamour to get the information that the man has on how he makes his own. Because I'm not going to let nobody penny pinch me, right? What is the knowledge? What is the plug? What is the skill that this individual has that you can make yours? And you just use your glamour. And it worked on me. And if it could work on me, it could work on a lot of men. Because that's some game, right? So, number 38, women are competition. Number 37, real big one. Hip hop lied to me about every damn thing. Turning 40, I've had to unlearn all the things that I learned from hip hop. It's a weird kind of thing because coming from the environment that I come from, hip hop is one of the worst things ever. It's one of the worst things ever because when you grow up hip hop, you have a level of immaturity and you have to unlearn many of the things that we learned from the music. We learned bad financial habits from the music. We learned bad behavior from the music. We've promoted companies without being compensated for the music, right? Every day we're doing user generated content. Something like this. If I just got Carmex in the video, that is called user generated content. The company does not have to pay me to market this. And even though I might not be intentionally telling you to buy it, the fact that I have it on camera, that puts it in your subconscious. Next time you're out, hey, I need that. You know how long we've been doing that for alcohol, for food, for different clothes? Every hip hop video has user generated content in the video where the companies are not paying for that promotion. We've been doing that our whole life. Drake said in the song, "No nude friends." But Baby and Wayne are new friends. These aren't people that he grew up with. But it will tell you and I not to make new friends. Right? Hip hop will tell you, spend that check, spend that check, spend that check and get it right back. That's the dumbest shit ever. Because the money never comes back how you think it is. Right? And whatever plug you got, or however you think you're going to make that money, it ends up drying up. So spend that check and get it right back. How come none of the billionaires talk like that? How come the people from the projects say reckless things like that? That's bad advice. Hip hop teaches us to indulge in instant gratification. I need people to know that I got bread. Right? I need to drive the car around the neighborhood. I need that kind of validation. Hip hop teach you to have a bad diet. When you are a 40-year-old rapper, a 45-year-old rapper, you age in dog years. Right? Hip hop, the artists don't look young. They look tired. Right? Hip hop don't promote books. It doesn't promote marriage. It doesn't promote fatherhood or motherhood. You know what I'm saying? It has a degeneracy on it. And I love the music, right? And I'm from the culture. It brought out the worst in us. You know, taught us how to be murderers. Make sure if you loading up your bullets, make sure you have latex gloves on. Here's how you weigh drugs. Here's how you cook crack. Here's how you pimp on a bitch. This is what the music taught us. Not just the music, but the overall culture, right? Of recklessness and being a consumer. So I had to unlearn for my 40s everything that I learned from hip hop. Going to college was dumb. Getting a regular job, you a sucker. So hip hop was one of the things that I had to change. Now I have to monitor my kid. Like, no. We're not playing that. Right? So number 37, and the things that I learned turning 40 of like, yo, now that I'm grown, the 90s wasn't all that. The 90s wasn't safe. You couldn't just wear the new Barclays. You couldn't just wear the starter jacket. Everybody wants to put today's youth down as if the 90s was the shit. Yeah, y'all used the drugs. We sold the drugs. Like, huh? Yeah, you created these junkies, right? The 90s gangbanging was spreading around the culture, right? In the 90s, it was about being in cliques. So if you wasn't a jock or if you wasn't a thug, that you didn't have a place, right? It's people coming home from jail right now from hustling in the 90s. But we bigged the 90s up like it was just the golden years of hip hop. Actually, it wasn't. The golden year was the 80s, when there was real instruments in the music, when people actually have fun, when it was about poor righteous teachers, when people taught in the music. That was the golden age when it was new, right? And everybody couldn't do it. And you settle beefs with breakdancing. You understand? When it was underground, it was never supposed to go mainstream. It was never supposed to go corporate. The 90s is not the golden years because look at the music. The 90s was all about thug rap, cocaine rap, right? And you don't realize when you're participating in it then how detrimental it is. But when you get 40 now and you like, damn, all the people I know, the men and women, are trying to get their life together now from participating in the culture. It took years off of people. People had babies at 16, 17, and everybody's still caught up in their second childhood. Just now getting their life together. The entire culture stuck in arrested development. So number 13 for me, my lessons is that, hip hop lied to me about every damn thing from diet to finances to women. I learned how to date from Dipset. What? I I learned how to be with women from rap music. Dipset. What? Buying a girl something? Never. It ain't no fun if the homies can't have none. Like, yo, that's dangerous. So that means girl come and see you, right? Listen to the music. It's not any fun unless my homie can have some. So, girl comes over to see a dude, and he got his friends there. And because the music is wiring us, we like to pretend that this is not culture. And just because you might have had a household with different role models, that's great. But that ain't the majority, right? And that music creates spells. So girl comes over and she might be interested in one guy A. But then we've been listening to Ain't No Fun Unless the Homies Can't Have None. So now it's pressure on guy A to be like, hey, what's up with old girl though? Right? What's up with old girl? Yeah. But now she in the room with her clothes off. Do you remember? People's brains are not even developed. So you got 16, 17, 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds, right? And without fully developed brains, and the girl's in the room naked, and you've just been listening to It Ain't No Fun If the Homies Can't Have None. You know what kind of pressure? Guy A's under pressure now because of his homies, and the girl now is under super pressure because she came over for one dude and she has no clothes on. How the hell is she about to get out this situation? But I'm going to pretend that this story is fake. And I'm going to pretend that hip hop doesn't have a lot to do with a lot of shit because it allowed the uneducated and it allowed degenerates to rap. And it allowed people that were children of heroin and crack cocaine to spread and amplify messages. But we're going to pretend that is just a white man. All right. Number 36. The bar set extremely low for a black man. That's what I figured out. When I was turning 40 the other day writing this, I chuckled to myself because to be a good black man, it does not take much. All you gotta do is be a good husband. The standard for a good man in black culture is being a good boyfriend or a good husband. That's it. Not being an inventor. Not solving any world crisis. Not adding any contributions to the market. Be cute and be a good mate. That is it. This is why the conversations never leave dating and mating. Because the standard is super low. Right? Whereas if I'm a white boy, it's pressure. Because Elon's over there, Mark's over there, Serge is over there, right? Henry Ford. The standard for a black male is a pastor. Umar Johnson, right? Yeah, preach, brother. Just preach. If you can wake people up, that's the standard. You don't have to do shit though. Being a pastor, being a community organizer, nothing wrong with that. Don't get it twisted, because everything has a place. But the standard and the bar is not being an inventor or being a scientist or being a general or being a billionaire. The standard, what's your son doing? Oh, he going to work and go to school. Oh, that's good. That's all. When you're a young black male, all you have to do is tell somebody you work and go to school. That's it. And the conversation stops. Right? And if you don't make it, you can always blame the system. Cause they don't want a man like me in Hollywood. They don't want a man like me in the NBA. They don't want a man like me in the NFL. They don't want to. You always have that in your back pocket as a nigga. That if you don't make it, if your life turns out to be nothing, you could always say the system though. Cause I'm too real. They don't want nobody like me waking people. It's all of why is the standard for a black male is how many people you wake up. Wake up to what? Wake up to what? To what? You don't wake up people with words. You wake up people with a personal example. You wake up people by doing and being, not talking. It's all about, yeah, did you know about flat earth? Did you know about Antarctica? Did you know about hollow earth? Did you know about planet X? Over and over and over again, as if that means anything. Yeah, man, you can get to Africa from hidden tunnels in the Grand Canyon. Like when you want to know all the deep shit, you go to the niggas. What does that mean? Keep it simple, stupid. My new method is if you can't pay your rent or mortgage, don't talk deep to me. Let's leave Behold the Pale Horse alone. Right? Let's stick to the basics of we need dental, we need health insurance, we need life insurance, right? Let's do that first. And then we could talk deep. Then we could talk about school to prison, pipeline, all that. But yo, if this money is funny, right? And our children turn 21 and have to go work for other people and get their startup capital for other people, that is a bad look while we were huddled in corners in a cipher starts talking about conspiracy theories. The bar is set super low because all you got to do is be a preacher. That brother's deep. What did he say? What did he say? Not what did he say? What did he do? What did he do? And this is from coming from a person that I was a Nation of Islam builds, 5% bills, God body bills, Nawapian Nation bills. I did it all. And it was a nothing burger. Oh, what? Fluoride in the toothpaste? Oh, what? Oh, what? And I thought me having that knowledge meant something. While I'm clowning the dude going to college. Yeah, man, that's you just learning what the white man wants you to know. The bar is set extremely low for a black man. Hey, bruh. If I find a dude that if I find a black dude that wants to be the next Nikola Tesla, I want to be his friend. I don't want to see no more rappers, right? Basketball. I mean, now it's money in it, but the bar is set low. And getting married and having kids cannot be the end all be all. Yeah, he's married. What the fuck does that mean? He's a good black man. Savannah, he's a good man. What does that mean? When we die, y'all, there is a hall of fame. And in the hall of fame is doers, right? In the hall of fame is achievers. In the hall of fame is thinkers, right? They never be like, oh yeah, the greatest husband of all time. That's cool. That's personal. That, it comes just living life. You meet somebody you're attracted to. But to be a good black man is you're pegged to kind of how you are in a relationship with a woman. That's it. In the Hall of Fame, they don't be like Savannah. He's a good man. No. So the bar set super low. It's like because Malcolm did something, and it's like the culture vicariously lives through individuals that did shit. You know what I'm saying? Because Malcolm did something and Martin do something. Now it's like I don't gotta do nothing. I challenge niggas to not use Kevin Samuels talking points in 2024. I challenge you to go past that. I challenge you to go past stats, right? I challenge you for this to be your best reading year of your life. I challenge you to go talk to women on your own and you draw a conclusion. And even understand the conclusion that you're drawing, that's just based off women you've met. I challenge you to go outside, right? That man is that man. But y'all all sound like him. The bar is super low. That when you fire up your streams and have a conversation is based on that template. Like, take a risk in your thinking. Take a risk in your content. What do you think? Right? You might be wrong. But this is based on your experience. Right? So number 36. The bar is super low. Number 35. The conscious community is a cult. And I was in it. That's what I learned in my 40 years. This is all the lessons that I learned in my 40 years so far. The conscious community is a cult. It was the cult of Garvey, the cult of Elijah Muhammad, the cult of Dr. York, the cult of Father Allah, the cult of Brother Polite, the cult of Nature Boy. I could go on and on. The cult of Noble Drew Ali. And I participated in these cults. They are cults, though. Right? Anything that does not push you back to yourself is a cult. If it pushes you to an individual, it is a cult. If you lose your personal identity for a movement, you are in a cult. You are giving up your autonomy for an ideal of that you cannot touch. And there will never be a finish line. And I was in it. I was in it. It's not that season or time. It is the time for a mirror. The only thing that a so-called teacher can give you today is a mirror, because there is nowhere to go. Anytime people have the ambiguous talk and, yeah, we're going to go to the mountaintop, like, what does that mean? Right? To where everything you speak is the movement, right? Your whole ideals is the movement. It's never about you. Here's the crazy thing. You elevate these figures, men and women, because these movements exist now, right? You elevate these figures to godlike status, right? Just to find out that they pop pills just like you and they drink just like you. And definitely don't want to look at their porn history. And that's the mistake. Because it's the Christ motif, right? Of elevating a man or woman because they're knowledgeable about a subject, right? And you suspend all your belief and follow this individual, but you don't even know where you're going. You don't even know where you're going. To the mountaintop. What does that mean? What's that mean? Right? Every person that you see on stage, never get caught in their charisma. Show up for the thing they do well, but never forget, every front side has a back side. Why are you surprised about TD Jakes? I'd be surprised that people be surprised. What do you expect? Every light has a dark. Even the Judeo-Christian concept of God, there is a shadow side to this deity. Look at the Old Testament. Jealousy, anger, death. New Testament is about love and forgiveness. You see the duality? And so if people are going to behave like the deity they follow, I'm not stuck in belief to where I can't question that. So when you see your favorite leader, why are you surprised that humans are going to human? Nigs are gonna nig. Crackers are gonna crack. Why do you be so surprised? Why is it that you need? No, matter of fact, let me put it back on myself. I needed my cult leaders to be something that I can aspire to be. So I put all the pressure on them. So when I found out that these men and women were just men and women, my heart was broken. I watched too much TV, Batman and Superman. I needed heroes. Then when I found out my favorite minister got his hands up a woman's dress and some in his hands in a boy's pants, I'm devastated. But why did I think that wasn't possible? Every front has a back, right? And right now, the platforms that you're in is nothing but the conscious community just remixed. When you hear words like matrix, society, and they, and the individual is talking about they're here for a divine purpose and they came to wake everybody up, you're in a cult. I'm letting you know right now. You are in a cult and it will never be a finish line. And the enemy is the men or the women or the, you understand? There's always a new enemy. Or they just remix it, right? But it's never a mirror. And you're never going to hear these people say, I have deviancy, I'm afraid, I get scared, here's what I fear, right? You're in a cult. And the major cult now is the cult of gender. Notice, every man speaks about men at large, never himself, right? Simone Biles' husband says something, and women at large decide what's good for her. That's the cult of gender. How you more offended than a person? She could do better. How do you know? How the hell do you decide someone you don't even know can do better? No, you can do better. That's the cult of gender, where you drop your own individuality to pick up a group identity. You just mirror them. Oh, she's a woman. I feel something. You don't even know her. Men this, men that. Bro, you're in the cult of gender, dog. Andrew Tate. They. Who's they? Right? You're in a cult of gender. So, number 35, the conscious community was a cult. And I was in it. And I got all the books. And I was 10 toes. And I was ruining relationships. And I was a terrible person. I was a terrible friend. I wasn't reliable. I didn't keep my word. My attitude was trash. And the information was aging me, because that's what it does, right? You have talking points on repeat. The Egyptians, but I don't know how to build my own pyramid. But I'm talking about who built the pyramids, and I want to debate and all that stuff, right? So number 35, the conscious community is a cult. And the conscious community exists now. It's just in podcast form. And it's just remixed with new men and new women. But trust me, you're in a cult, right? And you don't even realize that you are fighting the wars of the person. Men, that individual man has a problem with women, and he takes you to fight the battle, right? That individual woman has a problem with men, and she riles you up and makes you fight her battle. They do the same thing. Two wings on the same bird. Democrat, Republican, Lutheran, Protestant, it's the same thing. And don't do what I did. Pick a side that had nothing to do with me, right? And then when you find out the person that you're following wasn't what you thought, now you naked in the cold. I did it. So number 35, the conscious community is a cult. Woo! Now, let me break this down, right? Let me break this down, because this is me doing shadow work. My mother was somebody's whore. I know it sounds crazy. Let me explain. My mom was jumping off with men. Somebody had my mama the same way I had other people mama, right? And the reason why I phrased it like that is to take the sting off. Like, that's a human. I know emotionally, mama. But behind closed doors, there's a man that knew her in a different way, right? And I put it in a way like that for a reason. That eventually we got to get over mama daddy trauma. Because to you, that's mama. To you, that's daddy. But to somebody else, your daddy's a trick. And to somebody else, your mama's a hoe. And you learn to take it easy on them. Especially when you get grown. Like, you know what? Some of this stuff I'm going through, a lot of this is my fault. You know, I could go back to childhood all day, but when you're looking at your parents, when you're looking at your mama and your daddy, you don't even know what you're looking at. Because again, in a different setting, your mom is somebody's jump off, right? And your daddy was chasing somebody, paying her bills, doing all this, and getting curved too. That's the game, right? The humanity under the label comes first. You got to look at them as a human first, not as a Republican first, not as a Democrat first, not as mom, not as dad. And that's the difficult thing about being connected to people, is that we put the label first before the humanity. But you got to look at the humanity clearly of that ain't just your mom and that ain't just your dad. They are something just like you. Just like you kiss your babies on the mouth and you make them food, and then you sending spicy texts to some man. And of course your kids don't see that. They don't need to see the text, right? And to them, your mama and your God and whatever. And what happens is one day they see you without your wig. One day they see you bleed. One day they see your humanity and like, oh my God, my mom's a human. Yeah. Flawed, with fears and a past, you know? And when you separate that umbilical cord, you'll be able to see the world very clearly. Because then when you have relationships, you won't just look at your man as a husband. You won't forget that he's human first. You won't just look at this woman as your wifey. She's a human first, right? And a lot of times the labels press down the human. Oh, that's my sister. That's my brother. No, that's a human. That's your sister. That is a human that happens to be your wife. That is a human that happens to be your husband or your business partner. And no matter what, the human will human. Whether they're married, single, it does not matter. So number 34 that I had to learn, and even in her death, been a struggle. Like, yo, my mom had me at 26. She had 3 baby dads. Hey, you know what? And I know we don't want to see certain things because we don't want to. It is what it is. Don't you be jumping off? Don't you be doing shit? So why you think your mom and daddy ain't doing either? Don't you want people to take it easy on you a little bit? So if your parents are still living, even if the relationship is look at your behavior. Don't you want grace sometimes? Right? That's number 34 of turning 40, right? It's all the things that I was sitting with. Number 33. This is something I had to learn. There are things that I can go live about, and I can really open up about ideals, concepts, occult things. But you know what I realized? The public should stay vanilla. Everything ain't for everybody, right? The public should stay vanilla. A lot of the things that you know or you've seen or you've been through, or even your personality, is not for public consumption. Leave your work friends, right? You do not have to live in your truth at every single time. There is things that people should not know about you. And that's okay. Because the public should stay vanilla. Politicians, right? Look how they talk. Pastors, priests, right? On the surface, they are a certain way. That's not how they are behind the scenes. But to make the country function, to keep business flowing, they have to be an ideal, right? The police officer has to represent this ideal. The president has to represent this ideal. But if you've seen them behind the scenes, and look what happens when you find out about Diddy or you find out about Hollywood. Look how the public responds. There's a reason why everybody should not be at those parties. And it's okay, right? I get it. Because what you're about to see behind door number one, you are a civilian. And what I learned, even people that say they ready or that say they about that life, they're not. They're just rebellious. But they're not really about that life. Because when you put certain things on the table, and now it's too late. So now you don't let somebody behind your veil and they're going rogue. What you gonna do? If you're a celebrity or a content creator or whoever you are in your world and you're important, I say keep your secret things secret. The public should stay vanilla. It's better for business. They don't have to see you like that, right? And you're only gonna bump into very few people where you could take the mask off. I used to think differently. I used to think that you need a safe space and to be the shadow. You need a safe space to explore and you want to open up and show people different things. I don't think that way anymore, right? You might find one, maybe two, tops three people where you can really take the mask off, right? But keep the public vanilla, especially if you are a public person, especially if you're important person in your family, right? And in some instances, you might even have a spouse that you have to keep vanilla, right? Be careful who you show yourself to. Because once you show it, there's no take backsies. Okay? That's number 33. Number 32. The world likes to make children, but don't really care about them. That's something I know. All the conversations about children, and that's cap. This world does not care about children, only making them. If this world cared about children, they wouldn't make weapons. They wouldn't make tanks. They wouldn't make fighter jets. If this world cared about children, they wouldn't mess up the environment, right? That is cap. People don't care about children. They use the children argument when they don't have a better argument to attack what you're doing. So they say, "What about the kids? What about them? Y'all don't care about children. If you cared about children, you wouldn't say what you say about single moms. Y'all don't care about kids, right? It's children in orphanages. It's children in foster care. Y'all don't care about kids. If you cared about kids, everybody wouldn't be doing what they're doing. If everybody cares about kids, then why is the podcast never about children? If you cared about kids, why is the top female content creators never talk about breastfeeding? No talking about home births. Don't care about kids. Y'all care about dating. Y'all care about getting what you want out of a man. Y'all care about getting what you want out of a woman. The conversation of babies never even comes up because nobody even asks, what do the kids want? If we cared about children, we wouldn't create the world that we want for them. We would ask their input about what it is that we're doing since they have to live in the world. If we cared about children, all these old people would not be running things. It would be young people speaking for the interests of the young. If we cared about kids, we wouldn't pass hatred to them. We wouldn't pass racism to them. We wouldn't pass these conflicts that we go through to them so they can pick up that fight on our behalf. Y'all only care about making the babies. Because if you cared about children, you wouldn't even have babies in those environments. If you really cared about kids, everybody wouldn't have them. No matter what's going on in the world, the world could be falling apart. People still gonna get pregnant and have the baby and make the baby deal with the world that we created, even though it's not ideal for them. No, we like making them, right? And we like the meaning that it gives when they're little and they need us. But once they have opinions, once they start going in a direction that we don't want them to go, now we don't want the adult. If you cared about kids, why does your kid got to get out when they're 18? Why they got to go? You cared about kids or you only care about the baby? Which one? But I personally think the world hates children, feed off their energy. It's because they're innocent. Because and we're jealous of them. So don't care about these kids. Only making them. Because if it was about kids, all these adult conversations we're having, we would center the youth. The youth is never centered anywhere. The top male podcasts are talking about dating, not children. They only throw in children because they don't have a better argument. The top women podcasts don't even mention breastfeeding. How to heal your children in the kitchen. None of that. Cap. It's a bunch of disgruntled women that didn't get what they want from a man, and a bunch of disgruntled men that didn't get what they want from women. Now everybody mad. But if you listen, right, when everyone's going live, if you listen, you can hear children in the background. And the conversation is never about children. Because if you really want to wake people up, you wouldn't start with old people. You would talk to the babies. But anywho, number 31 of my 40 things that I learned turning 40. This is going to sting right here, but human beings created the concept of God. I know. That's a tough one. 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 Right? That's a tough one. Human beings are very old. Older than what's on the books. Okay? God is a word. It's a Germanic word. It was gat. It only means to build a mound, right? Pour libations, right? So humans, primitive humans are very superstitious. So lightning would strike, or there would be a sound in the bushes, or there would be something going on with water, the ocean, or the desert. And these humans will start to give attributes to things that occurred in nature, right? And we would personify them, and because of I don't want to, but I always butcher this word, anthropomorphization. Yeesh. Anthropomorphization. Where we anthropomorphize, or that's the word. Where we would associate human characteristics with deities or with nature, right? And human beings did this all around the world. And the deities always matched the environment. So if you lived in a desert, the god or the deity would be a desert deity. If you lived in the snow, it would be a snow deity. And they would create folklore and mythology around the environment, right? So when you study the history of world religions, you see that every human being in every environment, even atheist ones, they still gave attributes to nature. But when you lose the war, you have to pray to the other person's deity. Okay. In Western civilization, we are under a Judeo-Christian framework only because we lost. And when I say we, I mean people. Because when Constantine makes Christianity a state-sanctioned religion, who's ever under Roman domination, they have to pray to that deity as well. Here's the problem. That the people that run the world don't have the same deity as you. They're more into polytheism, not monotheism, right? On the surface, it appears to be monotheistic, but they're polytheistic. And all those ancient deities like Moloch and Baal that they say, oh, those are bad, that's actually what they follow. Very old Canaanite, Sumerian, Babylonian, that's what they're into, right? But the concept of gods come out of the mind of humans. The word, or what we think of as God, did not create man. Man created God. Now, the indigenous talked about the great mystery, and this is going to hurt the red pill. They called it the Great Mother, right? And the Great Mother created everything billions of years ago. But we don't know a lot of indigenous religious dynamics because the people been basically erased, and we don't see outside of a lens of French, Spanish, Portuguese, Dutch, English, German, right? But whoever you vote for in the next election cycle, he does not have the same God as you. I'm just gonna let you know off the rip, right? Your favorite celebrity doesn't have the same God as you, right? But humans created the concept of God. That's number 31. That's my tinfoil hat of turning 40. Maybe I'll get into that at a later date more. But let's go to number 31. 30. Freedom is expensive. Do you know what the money is for? Do you know what the grind is for? Do you know what the business for? It's for freedom. It's not for cars. It's not for clothes. It's for freedom. I don't want no one telling me what to do. In order to really be free, unfortunately, you got to get some money. But we make the mistake of buying things, and that puts us in bondage, right? The less things we own, the more free we are. The more in slavery we are, is the more things we acquire, right? Mortgages, cars, clothes. These things end up owning us. Do you notice when you downsize, do you notice you have more freedom? Right? But freedom is expensive. There is a price to pay because once you're free, what are you going to do with it? What are you going to do? Now, this is rhetorical, but I know y'all scroll social media. What do you see people do with their freedom? How is it used? Now, there is personal development content online, sure. What's the majority, though? So, what if this was all big test, right? To put the internet in people's hands, to have give humans certain inalienable rights, just to see what everybody will do with it. How do people use their free time? Which is their right, though, right? No judgment. But how do people use it? Freedom is expensive. People have so much free time that they're depressed because of it. If myself, when I've went through my depressive states, I had time. I had time to be depressed. I had time to be stressed. I actually had time to think about my problems. I had time to think about past. I had time to um, be unhappy. You need time to be depressed. You need time to be unhappy. You need time. You need space. Even when you think I'm just running and I'm just running, you running, but you're it's not productive. You're just moving around, right? Freedom is expensive. So when you're at the job or you're in your entrepreneurship, you grinding this year, I want you to think about time. Don't think about the car you're gonna buy. Don't spend money before you get it. I want to help you to create a new why. So if nothing else, that when you hit your financial number, you have a new why and you have time. Get the money so you can have time. Time to love, time to be a better friend, a good partner, um, time to read, right? Get the money for time. You gotta buy your time back, right? Because if not, you'll use the money on buying things. And the more things we buy, the less free we are. That's number 30. Appreciate you. The one I adore. I like that name. For the 4.99 on the super chats. Keep them coming. Happy New Year, everybody. And we're gonna go to number 29. Ooh. Good times cannot be replaced with good times. Love the now. Love the now. Good times cannot be replaced with good times. Let me tell you what I mean by that. There's certain times of my life where I was happy. And happy's tricky because it's just a moment, right? It's a feeling, right? Just a mindset, right? And I made the mistake of not diving headfirst in to that moment, right? I made the mistake. I've been on vacation with my phone out. It's so crazy about the mind, right? And I remember like posting pictures and I'm just showing people back home. Yeah, living my dream. You know how we be talking, flexing. Yeah, plan come together. Shit, right? And then the vacation is over. And a lot of it, I have my phone out, right? I have my phone out. Don't do that. You can't replace good times with good times. This is all it might ever be. I don't care where it is. The reason why you have to love the now is because you are a phone call away from the worst day of your life. Of your children going outside and never coming back. Your loved one going outside, never coming back. Your mom going, your daddy going, your friend going. That moment that you're in might be your best time for the next 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, and then you just go through that season. You never know. You might not get back to Colombia. You might not get back to Miami. You might not get back to the beach. You gotta dive in the now. You can't think that, yeah, we're gonna be able to do this again. Says who? Life got a funny sense of humor. Most importantly, do not think you can trade in one good person for another. It don't happen like that. Nope. Don't feel yourself to the point where you think, you know what? I can get another you. Okay. It don't happen like that, y'all. Some people are specifically designed for you. Even though it's billions of people, right? It don't mean everybody designed for you. You are a specific kind of person with a specific past, a specific present, a certain temperament, right? Don't think that you can just, I could get me another man just like him. Yeah, okay. Roll the dice. You know, I've been under the mindset, you know what I'm saying, where I've had a good woman in my life, right? And I don't know, this is just arrogance. You think that lightning strikes twice in a bottle. And you like, well, damn, well, shit. Well, if I knocked her, shit, I can get another her, but in a better form. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe not. Yo, if you meet a man or a woman, there is nothing wrong with you being like, yo, this might be the best I can do. I know that hurts. Because everybody, I could do better. How you know? How you know? Do you have a history of doing better? Like, just go off if we looked at your number on a sports card, what it look like in 05, 06. So you mean to tell me you've been 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, right? 0, 0, 0, boom. You caught one. Then you got the nerve to be like, I could do better. But your life don't say that though. And these people on social media is gonna have you fucked up in the game, right? Girl, you don't need to, you need to get you this kind of man. Roll the dice. Listening to these handkerchief head dudes, you gonna think, man, I'm gonna get me a woman with a bigger butt. You might. You might get a woman with a bigger butt, fam. But now the new woman with a bigger butt, she's not as kind as the other girl, right? The new woman that you got, right? Because you was feeling yourself. You got a promotion at the job. You got a new car. You feeling yourself. I know, because I done felt myself before. I know. She got a bigger butt. But when you cough, she don't know what to do. See, your last girl, she might have had a flat ass, but guess what? She used to cook up home remedies. She was so kind to you. She was so caring to you. Your jokes not even funny, and she used to laugh. Yo, your bread not even like that. And she used to be like, that's all right, baby. I believe in you. Yo, don't get it twisted, yo. If you a man, millions and maybe even billions of men have never heard a woman that they like say, I believe in you. You take that for granted. It's not tangible, right? It's in the ethers. But somebody like, yo, I think you dope as hell. I believe in you. And you'll make the mistake because, you know, she's a natural woman. So she might not got the biggest ass. And you'll make the mistake of being like, I can do better. Right? And the mistake you made is thinking better was looks. Right? So you let these dudes gas you. Right? And now you got the girl with the bigger butt who looks better than the other girl. She don't believe in you though. You in there working on your invention, working on your business plan. She ain't coming in there saying, baby, use me. Can I help? Can I help? You need my help, babe? She ain't asking you none of that. Don't think you could replace good times with good times. You better love now. You better live now. There's something to be said about what's for you is for you, right? And if no one was looking, sis, you would pick that dude right there. But you don't because you need to show the man off to the sisterhood. And that's your L. Your friends have to approve of this nigga. What he's doing has to be big enough for you to post on social media. Roll the dice. Roll the dice. Roll the dice. Take a shot. But if your card says a bunch of zeros and you think that all of a sudden you got this glow up and you think you that nigga, roll the dice. Stop talking and roll the dice. You really think, oh, I could do better than that, man? Roll the dice, sis. Roll the dice. That's the game. Roll the dice. You might win. Roll the dice. But for me, gotta hold on good. Right? My next vacation, my phone ain't out. I'll take a picture when I leave. I ain't got nothing to show nobody. Right? What what are they gonna say? Yo, you doing it? Goals? It's fake. Cause the same people, if they see you on a bus, roll the dice. Right? What's good for you is good for you. But I could be wrong. And I am a gambling man. But remember though, when you roll, that 7 gonna come up. I don't care how long you roll, you gonna 7 out, right? Number 28. In my 40 things that I learned being 40. The only thing that gets better is you. The only thing that gets better is you. There is no such thing as a better woman for me. There's no such thing as better. The only thing that gets better is me. Don't confuse new with better. And this is coming from somebody who didn't know the difference. I used to think that a new woman was a better woman because she's new. It's just a feeling, right? And what is it that I am assuming is better? I don't got no attachments to her. I don't have any obligation to her. Her body is a mystery. So the chemicals will get the flowing, and you'll make the mistake of thinking that she's better because she's new. Women do it too. Oh my God, he's such a good listener. Yeah, because you don't get on his nerves yet. Oh my God, he always complimenting me. Yeah, because he never seen you in your period panties. Oh my God, he's this, he's that. Yeah, because he hasn't fucked you yet. You think new is better. No, it's just new. And when it's new, everybody shows up with their representative. It's not better, he's just new. Y'all don't got no bills together. Y'all haven't lost a family member. Real life hasn't set in. So you'll leave one dude for another dude because you think he's better. He's just new. But everything new turns into old very, very quick. The only thing that gets better, ladies and gentlemen, is you. People are people. You've been to one beach, you've been to them all. You've been to the Venetia Hotel, you can kind of get a feeling for what the Bellagio looks like. If you've been to Bellagio, you can kind of get a feeling for what the Palazzo looks like, right? If you done drove a Benz before, eh, you could and it's new, you could kind of get the feeling of what it's like to drive a Bentley. It's just new, yo. It's just new. But all new things turn into old things. Right? look how look how fast them all white Air Forces turn old. Quick. One wear. That's all you got. And it just don't look the same after. I don't care what you do. You get a pair of the Air Forces, the all white joints, the low cuts. I don't care how clean you try to keep the shoe. Once you wear them one time, they just don't got that. It ain't the same. You know? It ain't the same. Then you got to get the new pair. Right? The only thing that gets better is you. You get smarter. You get stronger. You get more experience. Right? So then you are around different things. But those things always been there. The reason why you know about them is because you changed. So now you know it's different money, right? Now you know it's different men out here, different women out here, right? It ain't them, it's you. The only thing that happens with the world is you just get newer shit. But the only thing that changes is you. Never forget that. You know how you just walk in this movie and you see him like this? What's different? All of a sudden you in a new neighborhood. Ooh, I like them houses. Ooh, now you know they exist. What changed? You. You took a different street. Or you met a different person. But nothing changed. All that was there the whole time. You just never knew it. Right? The only thing that gets better is you. There is no better men out here. There is no better women out here. Only a better you. And you know what happens when you get to the next stage where you think these men are better and these women are better? There is a dude that is tired of sleeping with those women, and there's a woman that's looking over there like, girl, them niggas ain't shit either. It's the same. Everywhere you go, there you are. You are new to the block. Girl, it's so many men over here. Okay, talk to the women that been over there. What do they say about the men? Oh, bro, yeah, man, these women, blah, blah, blah. What do those men say about those women? What's new? You just got there, okay? So the only things is things are new, y'all. Focus on being better. That's it. You think the world outside is, you breaking your neck thinking things are better, and they're not. The only thing that gets better is you. That's it. That's the 28th thing that I learned. Turning 40. I tell you, I just be in my head just thinking about shit. Right? This is all over the place. All the gems that I learned, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, all the financial books, I still got in the credit card trap. Man, I was supposed to use the credit to make money. Teaching kids not to get in the credit card trap. Y'all, they just kept sending me them. I had got my credit all the way up, and whoo, they was giving me them joints with these high limits, and it's so dangerous because you just swipe, slicing and dicing like Mama Pain. That's all you doing is swiping a credit card, right? And then the note come in, and you like, shit. Don't get involved in that. Debt is for money. If you put yourself in debt, do it to make money. Do it for inventory, right? Do it as a leverage the debt. Don't use the debt from a consumer mindset. And I thought I was dodging it, but what Pookie say, they just keep calling me. I kept getting offers in the mail, and I'm like, woo! And I'm not looking at them interest rates, how they change. And I got a wallet full of credit cards, just swipe, and I'm swiping. Yeah, that jacket right there, swipe. Hotel, swipe, just. You know how Mama Payne be slicing and dicing? That's how I was doing with my cards. I take one out, swipe. Debt is supposed to make money. But I knew this. And they catch you slipping because you get one. Got a couple grand limit, right? And them limits just keep going up, and you think you're monitoring the shit in your mind. Next thing you know, you 5 cards deep with high ass balances. And you like, wait a minute, I didn't even do business. And don't go to a club, and the worst thing you could do is open a tab. You start to get reckless. See, when you got the money in hand, you move a little different. Fucking around with me, I'll be like, drinks over here, drinks over there. I just start losing it. I have a very addictive personality. Rounds for everybody. Then you wake up in the morning, you calling, you like, wait a minute, I spent $900 last night? The 27th thing that I learned, debt is supposed to make me money. Now I'm paying back debt from a consumer standpoint, not even a business thing. So that's a L. So make sure your babies, your kids, your youth, make sure they don't get caught up in the credit card game, y'all, because the cycle is ridiculous. That's number 27. Number 26. And you know I have the not capitalized. Most people do not want more. You want to know the quickest way to lose a friend? The quickest way to break up with somebody that likes you? The quickest way to, you think you all that? The quickest way, right? The quickest way to lose people is to push more on them. Most people just want comfort, and that's it. They're good where they're at. Everybody don't want to be a millionaire. Everybody don't want to travel. People want basic things. And the quicker you learn that, the quicker you won't ruin your relationships. Everybody don't want more. That's you. So it's important to catch up with your own kind, right? I made the mistake of thinking we all want more. So in my relationships, I would always go big, or I would always have these ideals, and I would put pressure on the people in my life to make them see the world like me. And that's not fair, because they don't want more. They want what they want. And it's usually very small. So get in the habit of wanting for people what they want for themselves, not what you want. Don't project and come up with all this crazy shit. What do they say they want? What are they showing that they want? Help them get that. Because you're going to ruin some cool relationship. And this is the thing. Just because she don't want more or he don't want more, that doesn't make them not a good friend. That doesn't make them not a good partner. I hear even in relationship, why you break up with him? He don't want more. What was more? What was more? Did he want you? She doesn't want more, but did she want you? And is it possible? Well, was she stopping you from getting more? If she's not stopping you from, if she's not in the way of you wanting more, then she should be able to go along it with the ride. If she's not hindering your progress in your pursuit, because what's more, right? So for 2024, don't ruin any relationships by projecting. Don't do that to people, right? Find out what people want, and if you're a good friend, you're a good partner, you're a good daughter, a good son, you'll help people get what they say they want, not what you decide for them. Okay? Lesson I had to learn. Because I used to have people pissed off. Number 25 of things I learned turning 40. Marriage and children are most people's biggest flex. And I had to learn that. And I used to talk real spicy, but I figured it out that average people are average. Nothing wrong with average. But the highest goal and the highest creativity that people have came up with for their life is to find a man, is to find a woman and have kids, and that's that. There was a space in my life where I thought that vision was so small that I would poke at it, but go back to 26. That's what people want. You should get it. You should get it. Right? People want babies. All right? See, and then I realized it. Most people not going to get millions. Most people not going to travel the world. Most people are not going to do anything exceptional in their life. So the bare minimum for them is getting married and having children. And you know what? I no longer have any shade for that. If that's the highest that you can go, I respect it. Now I have to figure out how to sell y'all something, right? I have to sell y'all something as a couple. Instead of me being in opposition, not to the marriage or the children, but like, damn, that's all y'all want out of life. You know what? You should have it. I want you to get it. I gotta figure out how to sell you something, though, right? And that's the thing. Instead of being in our feelings with a lot, we should be in our dealings. Instead of always trying to convert people over to our thought process, how about convert them into customers? How about converting them by selling them some shit? We be a little too personal. If that man wants to marry that woman and that woman wants to marry that man and they want to have a bunch of kids, you know what they're going to need with a house full of people? Toilet paper, forks, spoons, plates. I need to figure out what can I sell y'all instead of trying to meddle in your life. No, I want y'all to do that. I need to figure out how I can get a product of mine in your house, or how can y'all sign up for a service, right? I need to sell your children a coloring book, right? Take the mind off the dumb shit, right? Let people do exactly what they want. Sell them something. That's the 25th thing that I learned being turning 40. 24. Men and women have differences, but they aren't different. Let me really get into this. There are people really preaching men and women are different. Men and women are different. Men and women are different. How the hell did they come out the same womb? How can they have babies if they're so different? They have differences, but they're not different. Men and women start as boys and girls, born in the hospital, and they get buried in the same spot. You ever walk across the cemetery? Everybody looks the same to me. Skeleton, eyes, mouth, same. Fingers, same. Teeth, same. Blood, heart on the same area, same. Right? Feet, same. Hair, same. Eyebrows, same. Nostrils, same. Damn, seems like men and women got a lot in common, huh? Food, clothes, shelter, same. Mating strategies might be different, but they're the same. When you take a coin, and if you look at the side that has tails and be like, yeah, we're different. But then the head side is saying, yeah, we're different. We're better. I'll flip both of y'all. Y'all the same. Y'all the same. The people that say men and women are different, divide them down the middle and put them in their own specialty groups. And it happens on the men's side, it happens on the women's side. On the men's side, they're telling men they're special. On the women's side, they're telling women they're special. On the men's side, they're saying these women can't live without you. On the women's side, they're saying these men can't live without you. They're putting both groups in tribes and then preaching to them. It's a finesse. I've done it before, so I know what I'm looking at, right? Both are the same. Period. Period. And when you start talking to men and women, they kind of want the same shit too. Right? A sucker is a sucker. Right? A lame dude and a lame chick are the same. A real dude and a real woman are the same. A brave man and a brave woman are the same. A coward man and a coward woman are the same. And natural law affects both with no discrimination, right? When there is a natural disaster, right? The tornado or the hurricane or the typhoon, when it's happening, it don't be like, that's a man right there. Chill. Nah. The man is affected and the woman is affected. When there's an earthquake, the earth don't be like, yo, chill. It's women right here. No, the earth opens up and women and men both fall in at the same time. Right? If I'm in an airplane and I take the woman's book parachute off and I take the man's parachute off and I push them both out the airplane, which one of them is going to float? Or does the laws of gravity affect them evenly? I'm going to tell you a secret. Remember we were talking about cults earlier? When you do your cult, for those that's what you're into, you divide people up, right? And then what you do is you create exclusivity around the gender. Those men, those women, and you teach both that they're special. You even link their special qualities to a divine origin, right? You start talking mystical shit, right? 9 times out of 10, the people that you're talking to have a pain body. So they're so mad at men that they don't care where it's coming from. And they're so mad at women that they don't care about the fact that what you're saying makes absolutely no sense. And then what you do is you just keep feeding the talking points. You keep the talking points on rotation all day, right? Same thing, all the time. And if I'm in a man space, it's always gonna be women somewhere with bad behavior that I could be like, look, see, I told you, see, these women, man, I'm telling you, 50% of them such and such, 70% of them such and such, 80% of them. And then on the women's side, see, ladies, I'm telling you, these men, I'm telling you. But then they'll go into astrology and numerology, right? So it's weird because they'll use spiritual shit when it's convenient, except when people say it's my fault. Something gotta be wrong with these men. Something gotta be wrong with these women. But what does your chart say? Your chart is all about you, right? So you're the common denominator in your chart. But when you pick a man, you're not the common denominator. When you pick a woman, you're not the common denominator. Now you leave it up to chance. Men and women have differences, but they aren't different. They're not, right? So that's the 24th thing that I learned, right? The same type of man, whatever character a man has, there's a woman like that. Whatever character a woman has, there's a man like that. Whatever deviancy a woman has, there's a man like that. Whatever deviancy a man has, there's a woman like that. Why do you think, no matter where you go on the planet, whatever behavior a woman is doing, there's a man somewhere with her? Whatever behavior a man is doing, no matter what it is, there's a woman. Women are naturally hypergamous. Man, I just seen a couple sleep by the dumpster. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? You go up to the Bay Area where it's tent cities, it's women poking their head out the tent. Can I help you? When is the hypergamy going to kick in? Those are talking points. Women are the nurturers. Really? In my neighborhood, I see men walking with the baby strapped to them. And the woman's on the phone. Really? Those are talking points. When I go outside, it don't look like that. I was just at the restaurant the other day. A man had 2 7-month-old babies. I'm looking around for the woman. She was nowhere in sight. I'm like, he juggling them both. I'm like, yeah, but the internet will tell you that that's a woman's job. Man, y'all need to go outside because what you'll see is cap. These big generalizations will have you thinking the world is one way until you go outside. Till you go on the subway, till you go in the airport, till you go on the bus, till you move around, you realize that, yo, man, we're all the same. That's 24. That's the 24th thing. On my 40, what is this thing again? Oh, 40 things that I learned turning 40. 23. Now, I warned you. I said a lot of this was random. I was just jotting down. This is my tinfoil hat. So let me go in. We are the aliens. Okay? I think we make a huge mistake assuming all the life out in the world, in the universe, is advanced. What if it's us? What if it's us? I happen to think we're the aliens, and I happen to think whatever we find, we're gonna be racist to them, and we're gonna be like, "Are you feminine or are you masculine?" And the alien is gonna be like, "What the fuck?" Like literally, we're gonna go with our alien thinking and apply it to another planet. It's gonna be a little slug on the ground, and we're gonna put a microphone, and we're gonna be like, this might be the feminine one. Like, what the fuck? We are the aliens. How about this? Tinfoil hat. I think we colonized Earth. I'm sorry. Right? I think that each zodiac represents a civilization. That each zodiac represents a type of human. And I think that we all have came from different parts of space to the planet because this can house everybody. And we brought our specific life forms from our specific constellation to the planet. Right? That's why everything is different. Right? Different type of cats, different type of elephants, different species. I'm Capricorn, so I came from a different. I told you I'm gonna move on for that one. That was kind of I can get pretty far out there, but number 23, we are the aliens. Bigger the person, bigger the shadow. Number 22. Learn this lesson and learn it well, and it applies to everybody. The greater the man, the bigger the shadow. Right? The greater the woman, the bigger the shadow. When you see a man or woman operating with an extreme gift, I want you to stand back, right? And understand there is another side to that of what makes them like that. Okay? The greater the man, the bigger the shadow. The greater the woman, the bigger the shadow. If you're listening to a woman online, you like, damn, she's so good. She's so talented. She's this, she's that. I bet she's a deviant. I bet you. I bet she's a deviant. I bet if you look at her porn history, it's what you would consider weird. There is something that is fueling that, right? What we call higher self, lower self. The issue is human beings are in conflict with their lower self, right? Because it's oftentimes shameful. It's oftentimes things we don't want the world to know about us, right? You see a man and he's driven by something. There's something on the other side that is extremely dark, right? The greater the man, the greater the shadow. And I would like people that rock with me, that understand heaven on earth, to not necessarily give people grace. Give people grace in terms of know what you're looking at. So you stop getting your heart broke when people are something that you thought they weren't. That's your bad, right? Because to be a billionaire, to put your mind in that space, right? To put your mind in that space, to get a billion, to be the champion over and over again. The people that are driven by success, that make the best music, illest performers, there's something on the side of that, on the other side of that. I don't believe average men and women that don't do any one thing great, I don't think their shadow is that big, right? Because you're not driven by anything. You're just cool. You're just a regular guy and a regular girl. And that's not it is. In fact, it's better to be average. It's better to be regular. Because the bigger the person, the bigger the gift, the bigger the shadow. And sometimes that shadow extends out of the person's reach. Diddy, for example, right? He has a particular taste, right? Now, the average people will be like, oh my God, I get it. I understand it. I know that world. The problem is he does not like to play in the space with women that are like that because there's no control, right? So that's his sin. That's his error. I'll talk about that at another time moving forward in 2024 of there's a woman just like him with money, with status, that everything he's about would love to play in that space with him. The problem is she has agency and he does not get off on messing with his equal. That's the problem. So it's people that their shadow extends so crazy that they get more out of the turnout instead of playing with people in your space. I'm gonna get off that topic. Go to 2021. If you know, you know. Oh, listen, this was just me, just writing random things of thoughts I was thinking turning 40. Number 2021, the prettiest women are the most suppressed sexually. This is what I learned. Let me explain. The average man, which are most, right? The average man are so caught up in how a woman looks, especially if she's nice looking, he cannot fathom the depths of her sexuality. And what I realize is how undersexed nice looking women are. Not the act of sex, not the doing it, because it's always men that want to sleep with the woman, right? But there are certain buttons that aren't getting pressed because she's nice looking. And it's interesting that when men consider a woman ugly, I don't say that word, I don't call people that, but when men consider a woman ugly, it's very interesting how open sexually the man will be. He will do things with her, right? Because for 2024, if you're a dude, I want to help you with a shadow thing. I want to help you to look at sex differently. Like, it's not dirty. It's not bad. This is why you'll do things with a less unattractive woman opposed to the woman that you are attracted to, or the mother of your kids, or your wifey, because in your mind you associate certain sexual behavior as bad, and it's only for certain women. But little do you know, the very pretty woman that you are mad going crazy about wants to be turned out too. And from my experience, and from talking to women, is that a lot of women don't get tried. Okay, let me slow it down. And this is in guy conversation. In guy conversation, a woman that a dude thinks is less attractive, he is more, he handles her a certain type of way in the bedroom, right? And I often see that the the more that the woman looks better, right? The man can't see her in a sexual way outside of just a regular, I want to just lay with her. No, I'm talking, he won't slut her out. I'm trying to figure out a PC way to say it. He won't slut her out, right? He won't take her there. He won't push her because he doesn't see her like that, because she's in the pretty prison. So she likes things, she wants to try things, she's open to things, but her beauty is a prison. We'll talk about that at a later date because it's a lot of shadow things that go into that, but I'll just skim the surface. Number 20, the 20th thing that I learned turning 40, black dysfunction is too profitable to correct. Oh, we need to do better. We need to heal the community, fix the community. What you mean? It's too much money in that. It's too much overtime for the police. It's too much people making money off black people having bad diets. It's too much. The funeral home makes too much money. All the arsons, the buildings on fire, right? That's overtime for police. This is a $1 billion economy. Billions of dollars, maybe trillions, keeping people sick, right? Keeping the prison system, people being uneducated, people being hurt. If people are doing better in their life, you don't need the police. If people are doing better in their life, you don't need the doctors. You don't need the pastors. There is money in vices. There is money in people hurting themselves. There is money in people being depressed. You don't want to fix this because it's an economy. If people are doing better, that means they own the businesses in their community and not outsiders. You don't want to fix that, right? The Someone sells coffins. Oh man, when will this stop? Never. It's an economy. Overtime for police and nurses when they're taking bullets out of young men. Someone's getting paid off that. Never. TV dinners? Never. This dysfunction is based off business models. Never gonna stop. because people will lose their job. Understand how this works. You can't fix it because in fixing it, people will have to find new careers. I've never seen a funeral home in the hood close. The diabetes, the dialysis, the, that's worth so much bread. It's too profitable to correct. So in my 40 years, right, turning 40, that's something that I noticed. And when I was on my social justice warrior shit, I didn't realize that, dang, I'm in over my head. Because what I'm trying to interfere with is an actual economy, right? Happy New Year to R.A. Spence. Shout out to you with the 1999 on the super chat, my boy. Appreciate you, fam. Happy New Year to you. Hopefully, you and the fam as well. Special shout out to Canary coming through with the 499. Happy New Year to you as well. And my mindset for 2024 is multiply, right? That's my mentality. Multiply. We're going to move on to the 19th thing that I learned turning 40. Morality is very flexible. I've been in positions to see people's morality be flexible because I've seen what money will do. I see what people say, I won't never do that. Right. Right. Put some money on the table. Right. Morality is flexible. All you have to do is see a gas shortage. All the super believers and religious people will turn into savages very quick. Morality is flexible based on whatever's going on at the time, right? And all you got to do is introduce a little chaos, and the so-called civilized society will turn into it be barbarism. Morality is very flexible as long as everybody's fed, as long as everybody's safe. But when people start to get scared, morality goes out the window, right? When supply chain issues happen, right? Morality goes out the window, right? Everybody's moral, right? When times are good. But if things get a little bit unsure, uncertain, you don't know how you're going to get your money next, right? Morality goes out the window. It bends just a little bit, right? How is it that people step over the homeless man to go in a church? How come the homeless don't live in the church? Morality is flexible. So we can go to church, come out, and clearly people need help, right? You won't tithe to that person on the street who you can see, touch, you know it's real, right? But you'll tithe to the mystery God. Morality is flexible. Oh, I'm a good person. You stepped over a homeless person to go in the church, and you'll make sure the church has lights on before that individual has food. All this shit is very flexible. Oh, can't get no gas? Tempers flare real quick, right? So a lot of people on Black Friday, when they open them doors and they're trampling on each other, they got crosses on. Morality is flexible depending on what's going on that night, right? And I put money on the table, and you could get a person to go against what they said they wouldn't do. I know because I did it. This one hurts. I told you some of this was random. Number 18. Allen Iverson was wrong about practice. It's my favorite player. And when I was young and he was like, practice, man. We talking about practice. I was like, yeah, AI. Man, that don't matter. It only matters about what we do in the game. You know, I was hooping, right? He was wrong. And I didn't realize he was wrong until I got older. Practice makes perfect. Practice makes perfect, right? And this hurts because this is my dude. I had braids, I had the AIs, all that. But he was wrong. And it made sense because I was just in rebellion. I didn't want to practice, I just wanted to play the game, right? But it's the stuff we do when the camera's not on, y'all, that makes us legends. Just, the Karate Kid, wax on, wax off, wax on. He didn't know that he was learning to block. He didn't know. You want to get straight to the fighting, right? And that's the thing about life. We want to get straight. We want to get straight. We want to get straight to the podcast. We want to get straight to the stage. But what are we doing behind the scenes in terms of prep? Like, we gotta read, we gotta study, we gotta breathe, we gotta work out, we gotta take our time. I'm going straight to the internet. Nah, practice. Rehearse your lines 1,000 times before you come on camera. Sit with your message. Is this what you want to put out? What if that's your last message and you die? Are you happy with that going out to space? Right? My favorite player, but he was wrong. And I can see that now, especially having a kid of my own. And I constantly tell him, whatever you choose to do, there's somebody else that's taking this very serious. You got to respect that boy, respect that girl, because if they beat you, they are the better man that day. They're the better woman that day because they watched for hours. They studied while you was playing around. Practice matters. You got to practice to be in a relationship. You have to practice being a good friend. Right? Where do you practice these things? Behind the scenes when nobody's looking. So even though AI is my favorite player of all time, he was wrong. And when I heard it, I believed it. And I scoffed at practice. And I looked down on patience and taking my time. I just wanted to go. I just wanted to show up. And when I think about it, the wins that I do have, I won because I was ready. I won because I was prepared. So that's number 18. Told you this was a little all over the place. Number 17. Hate to bust everybody's bubble. Women are not a prize. Neither is men. Sorry, everybody. Sorry. I'm sorry. You're not a prize. Right? Women are not a prize. Neither is men. This is a big one. Because I predict, right? I predict that this will be the talking point for 2024. Who is the prize? I'm the prize. You got to chase me. None of us are the prize. Have you ever stopped breathing? Right? Have you ever stopped breathing? You realize how important oxygen is. Have you ever tried to grab, like you lost for air, you're trying to grab the air, and you realize something that you probably haven't noticed, how important breathing is. You know what the prize is? Right? Oxygen. You know what a prize is? Knowledge, good health, right? All your senses working, right? That's a prize. And if you're running around thinking you, just you, are the prize, you're going to take for granted the real prizes. The fact you can drink water clean is a prize. That's a prize, yo. Right? Peace of mind is a prize. Everybody has gotten so arrogant that the things that matter you undervalue, right? You undervalue your air. You undervalue your life. And I'm a prize. All that's the relationship shit. I'm really the prize. What? Why? 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 What makes you that? What makes you the prize? What makes you a prize? You have must never sat next to a person that's dying. You know what their prize would be? Time. Time. You ever sat next to a person dying, yo? Like, and you see it every single day, and the person that was once alive cannot get up from there, will not get up from there. You know what the prize for them would be? Time. See, if you stop looking at yourself as the prize and looking at the things that matter in your life as the prize, you'll fight for it. You'll value it. Instead of, I'm the prize. I'm the catch. Like, what's up with y'all self-esteem that y'all need that shit? Y'all need to, like, a man running around, I'm the prize, I'm the prize. If you the prize, then how can a police tell you to get out the car? Hmm? How can the cop tell you to get out the car? Girlfriend, if you the prize, why you feeling around your breast to see if you got a lump? Hmm? You the prize, right? Feeling on your breast, making sure you don't got no lump on the side. You the prize, right? You're dying every day. How are you a prize? Right? You're decaying every day. How are you the prize? Your breath stinks in the morning. How are you the prize? Right? Peace of mind is a prize. Time, air is a prize. Your body working for you, your digestive system, that's a prize because it's something everybody don't have. Right? Someone calling you, I'm going to shrink it down because everybody's feeling themselves. Someone calling you, telling you happy birthday is a prize. That act is a prize. Someone hitting you and asking you, hey, I'm out and about. Do you need anything? Are you good? That's a prize. I've lived in a homeless shelter before with older men. Nobody checked up on them. It was holiday time. These dudes were straight alone. And when they walked outside, they was invisible to the world. I didn't know if they had kids, ex-wives. I was the young dude. They were literally walking on the street, man, and nobody said nothing to them. You got somebody that's tapping in with you, checking on you, and you take that for granted. Well, that's what should happen. Y'all haven't dealt with that much loss then. Y'all must don't know a lot of dead people. I do. I've seen it happen in my face too. With with turning the corner of 40, I see I'm aware of my mortality. Where things in my body can start working different. People I know, people gonna get sick, you know. In the next 15 years, I'm gonna go to a lot of funerals. Cause I know a lot of old people, right? They want youth. They could just do it all again, right? That's a prize, man. So even though you might think it's little, right? And it's not the car you want, or your lady is not your preference, or the man you got. Of course, Russell Wilson got more money than him. The fact that somebody sees you, acknowledges you, that's a prize. The acknowledgement is the prize. The concern someone has for you is the prize. The sharing is the prize. But it's not you. You aren't the prize. I can prove it to you. When death taps you on the shoulder, you can't do nothing about that shit. But the sharing, the caring, the acknowledgement, the embrace. And I know we live in a world of social media where it's all about flexing. Let me tell you something. You rich as hell. You rich as hell if you got one person in your phone that'll do life with you. In a time where people don't stick with anything and everybody falls out and everybody's stop being friends because everybody could do better, right? If you got one person on your line that'll go through the seasons with you, that'll, if y'all argue, y'all can get it back together, you know, but that sees you and that rocks with you, that connection, the connection with the person is the prize, not you. And the quicker you don't think that about yourself, the quicker you value the shit that you have, right? That is number 17. Number 16. This is what I was thinking, turning 40, right? And this is only because I did shadow work. Yo, sex ain't a reward. For a lot of men, it is. For me, it's not. It's a nothing burger. Oh, it's for a lot of men, it's like, oh, you put $40 on the bill. I guess I'll give you a piece of pussy. Here, it's a reward, right? It's the look, mommy, look, I'm on a bike. That shit ain't no reward. And a lot of men's lives will go different if they stop looking at it as a reward. Like you have to do something correctly to get this, and you got, man, it ain't on shit, right? It ain't on shit. And I learned that from women. I'm like, damn, women could go without this for a very, very, very long time. Women will straight up say no. I don't care what you do. I'm not doing this. And I'm like, damn, well, Well, let me learn from my sisters real quick. Maybe it ain't all that, right? It's not a reward. It's not a, it's nothing. And you know this when you go to the zoo and you see animals do it. You're like, this is nothing. This is a finesse. Yeah, this is a finesse. And before I jumped off the porch, before I was green in the game, I got you a purse. I got you a purse. Look what I did. And the girl would ration it out. Let me go in my coochie drawer. I guess I'll give you a piece. I'm not gonna give you the whole thing until you do that. And then I realized, woo, women got a shadow side too. It ain't just men, but women's shadow exists in the unseen, and the man exists in the seen. And when I realized I was Pinocchio strings, and shit, I ain't immune. I done danced to some women's music too. She played a wop bop a doo bop, and I was doing dances. Can I get it now? Nope. All right, I'm gonna go do this. Come back. Can I have a piece now? She go to her pussy purse, dangle a little bit, let me smell it, take it back, and I'll be like, still do more. I'm like, damn. So I'm running, but I don't realize that what I'm doing for the woman is no different than me being on a bike. Look, mommy, look. Every man has a natural born trick in him. And the skill is his mindset. Let me try to save the woman. Let me try to save the woman. You need my help. Yeah. Niggas be old doing the shit. You still. Old nigga with a cane. So let me get that, baby. Let me pick that up for you. Just thinking he could get a whiff. That's the shadow side. See, women got a shadow side too. I'll be dealing with that in 2024 too. That's why the man don't understand, because you got to break the umbilical cord with mama. It's not a bad thing. It's just everybody got a shadow side. But the reason why the man don't know it is because he going off of visuals of what can be seen. But the woman's power exists in the unseen. That's why nigga be dancing Pinocchio strings, because I was dancing. And the woman walking around with a bag of pussy. I'm like, can I get it yet? And every time it would only be a little piece. A little piece of pussy. And I get down in my little doggy bowl. Can I have more? Go buy me some shoes, Kenneth. Okay. Hustle, hustle, hustle. Come back with the shoes. I got it now. Look on the shoes. I don't wear white after Labor Day. But I'll let you get a whiff. Go back to her pussy purse. Come back. And I get a whiff. Then I go out there and take penitentiary chances and risk my life. Because man don't understand woman's intelligence. So you don't even know that that behavior is premeditated. Women are very, very intelligent, but you look at it wrong, and you don't know that that game that's being played all goes back to your childhood as a boy. Mommy, pick me up. Look, mom. And you turn into a man. You see me, baby? Johnny Bravo. Right? Look at my muscles. Look at my car. Look at my waves. It's the same shit. But you gotta break the chain of you and mama to where sex is not a reward. I'll pick that shit up if I want to. I'm gonna do this for me, right? This is for me, not for you. This is for me. You can eat with me if I rock with you, but you're not gonna put none of that woman game and glamour and finesse and none of that shit. It's for me, right? So sex is not a reward, right? You want me, I want you. Same, same. But that shit is not a reward, right? But that'll go over most dudes' heads. Because most dudes will be, look, mommy, look. And most women is walking around with a bag of pussy, just ration. And they talk to their homegirls. Girl, you know only get a nigga a piece, right? Mm-hmm. Just talking with their girlfriends. They be savage when they talk to each other. When the man come around, man come around, take his hat off, madam. They tapping their leg under the table. Sucker. Then he walk back. Girl, I had this nigga eat my ass. Men don't know the world of women. You think they different. Okay. Right? And understand, the more you trick, you only getting the piece of pussy. You ain't even getting the whole bag. It's a piece. It's a piece of pussy. Especially as they get older, you get more vicious. It's a piece. Then we go back with the homies. Yeah, because shit, I knocked it down, though. Yeah, I knocked that thing down. It was only a piece. Cause only gave that nigga a piece. Now his father. Now I get. Let me stop. Oh shit. Number 15. The world is ran by a priesthood. I want you to know that before a government goes to war, before a king goes to war, they talk to numerologists, they talk to astrologists, right? They talk to very, very, very powerful people. Here's the ace in the hole, right? Or what they call a trump card. What y'all call patriarchy only can exist because of priestess. It looks like men run the world. Men is men this, men that. Those men talk to oracles. Those men talk to witches and priestess. And those oracles, those priestess, those women behind the scenes, the elders, they don't give a damn about the collective of women. I'm going to let you know that right now, right? You think these men are doing what they're doing on their own. Their guides, their teachers, and their educators on how to run this planet are women that are elders, and they are vicious, and there ain't no sisterhood and none of that. None of that. There ain't no war in the world going on without first consulting the priesthood. Without first some type of sacrifices going on. Astrology, numerology. On the surface, for the common person, you and I will argue about the role of patriarchy. What's behind the scenes, though? What's behind the scenes? And the richest, most protected women. When they say women ain't I've heard people say black women ain't protected. There's truth in that. The witches ain't complaining though. The most protected women in the world are not wives. They're witches. The most protected women in the world are oracles and witches and and advisors to the king. Who did Neo go see again? Who did Neo go see? Hmm? You think the movie's all about Neo and Morpheus? No, who was the oracle again? Where do you think they get these ideals from? But because you had a bad experience with a boyfriend, you need to believe that it's men running the world. Whatever you think is isn't. Right? Whatever you think is isn't. Right? The great mother never stopped running the world. Never. And they don't have a connection with the masses of women. They don't give a hell about you. They control them kings. Them kings go throughout the world, dominate, and bring things back to the great mother. And every nation has great mothers behind the scenes that are working in their favor. The man is just the face, like the police are just the face, like the politician is just the face, like the president is just the face. But I'll let you think that, oh, this patriarchy. No, 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 sis. Sis. The great mother runs things, right? The great mother runs things. And she never stopped and never will stop. Number 14, we can hack our biology, right? We can hack our biology. Now, all these podcasts and biology this and you can't escape biology and what. But Bruce Lipton teaches us the biology of belief. Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about biological hacking through our thoughts, through our beliefs. So what that means is whatever that I get from mama and daddy, I don't gotta be that. I don't gotta be my environment. I don't have to be what my biology says I am. I can hack my biology with my thoughts. I don't have to be this unless I become a victim to it. So everybody's having one conversation. Biology, biology, biology. A man can't go past his biology. A woman, yes, you can. Yes, you can. If you want to. You can be a victim of your biology or you can be a master of it. Right? You can be a master of your biology. Right? Your daddy was one way, bro. You don't gotta be like him. You know what I'm saying? Your mom was one way, sis. You don't gotta be like him. Nature says a man and his biology and a woman and her biology. And you mean to tell me with all the technology and all the upgrades that we made, you mean to tell me that biology still has us prison, still has us slave? No, you can be whatever, whenever, right? Dr. Bruce Lipton talks about the biology of belief. Joe Dispenza talks about biology of belief. Listen to Earl Nightingale. Listen to Wayne Dyer. This is about personal development. You don't have to be what your biology says, right? You can be a victim to it, or you can make changes, right? Or you can make upgrades. The choice is yours. So, number 13. We're at 13, moving right along. 13. All the suckers got money, but all the righteous men is poor. All the suckers got money, but all the righteous men is poor. Right? Real thing. Because unfortunately, all the teachers, right? All the people that can offer something, all the people with the real value don't have no money. And all the takers and all the people that's not putting on, all the people that are mean people no good, they got all the bread. One second. Right? So the righteous man is poor, unfortunately, and that's messed up. The men with integrity, the men that are smart, the men that care, right? They don't have money oftentimes. The suckers got money. And if you don't know what you're looking at, you will think the sucker is real. And remember, I said morality is flexible. People will listen to a lame as long as he got money. People will follow a sucker as long as he got money. The sucker will set the trend based off his followers. The sucker can have a lot of views on a video, and people will make a mistake and think that the video is valuable because of the view count, right? But the righteous man or the righteous woman, right? No views, no followers, no money. And that's what stops the righteous from being righteous because it ain't no money in it. There ain't no followers in it. There's no viewership in it. And that's the crazy thing about the game is that good people will give up their position, right? Because who the hell wants to live in poverty? So, solution, the woman that's standing on business, the man that's standing on business, if you see that they have integrity, if you see they have a moral compass, if you see they have certain type of principles, pay them. Just don't be like, oh, thanks, brother. Thanks, sis. They can't eat that. This is about capitalism. This is about bread, right? So the people that you see doing the work, they should not die poor. But the sucker dies rich. That's the public's fault, right? The master teachers should not be in poverty. If a person is a mentor to you and they help you, how do you pay them back? Right? Because when we go over to the suckers, they get money. Right? So if you want your educators to still educate, if you want the women to stay in their gifts and not go to the other side, if you want the men to stay in their gifts and not go to the other side, then you're gonna have to put some money on the wood, right? Or once the good woman goes bad, don't say nothing, right? Don't say nothing, right? Because she gave and gave and gave and got nothing in return but thanks, sis, thanks, sis, thanks, sis. The man that gave and gave and gave, when he goes to the other side, just keep it real and say, yo, he did the work, but come on, right? So unfortunately, all the suckers got money, but the righteous man is poor, unfortunately. Number 12. Oh, let me see. Let me correct this because this is important. Okay. So I just want to tell you that they are not better or smarter. They are just Freemasons. If you're a man or a woman with a plan, and you've been working your plan, and you've been working your business, and you've been really focused, and you've been really putting it down, and you know you got a dope product, whatever, and it seems like you can't get ahead, and you really questioning yourself, whether it's your platform, whatever you're doing, I want to tell you, the people in front of you, they are not better than you or smarter than you. They're just Masons. They got grandfathered in. Your man is not dumb, sis. He's just not in the fraternity. You are not less than, sis. You're just not in the fraternity. This planet is ran on relationships. It's not about who's the smartest. It's not about who's the dopest. It's about, are you part of a fraternity? Right? That dude that's thriving in business, he's a Shriner. He's a Mason. He's part of a fraternity. And his brother got him in. It's not because he passed the test. Not that one. It's because they walked him across the sand. If you know, you know. What fraternity or what sorority does the vice president belong to? How all the presidents are fraternity people? When you look at the black bourgeoisie, aren't they all part of the divine nine? And here you've been thinking this whole time that is you, right? You can get in, but what you willing to do, right? What you willing to do, right? Let me help my reparations people out. You want your reparations? Go holla at the Divine Nine. You ain't never getting it. You know why? Because your gatekeepers have it. That's who has the keys to your liberation. Go holla at your Divine Nine, right? Every single black leader in America, why are they part of those organizations? How come they have to be down with that before you get a pass? Look at all your millionaires, right? Look at all your thriving businesses. Why do you keep seeing the same faces for 30, 40, 50 years? No new young blood unless you come through their channels. Why do you think that's a coincidence? And you've been thinking it's you this whole time. You've been thinking your business plan is not tight. You've been thinking that you're missing something. No, you're not. You're just not down, right? That's why the internet is the great equalizer, because you can get a million without being in the fraternity. You can get a million online running an online businesses without being in the sorority, right? You willing to let people haze you to get to your dream? You willing to let someone take an egg, spit it in your mouth? Like, that's, if you down with that, go right ahead. But what does that have to do with personal development? Unfortunately, whatever you think is going on in the white world, the blacks are doing the same thing. it's the same. Everybody's a op. Okay? So just keep working at the plan, right? Keep doing what you're doing. But understand they're tied together by rituals. They're tied together by secrecy, right? And the only reason that you are left out is because you ain't down. But if you want to play the game and just understand what comes with it. And once you're in, you're in. Got to keep your mouth shut, or they cut your tongue out, throw it in a shallow grave. Number 11, the 11th thing that I learned turning 40. I've never seen God build a church or stop a war. Now, this is just me. Again, my tinfoil hat, right? I'm jotting on the paper and I'm laughing. And I'm like, how come human beings build all the temples and I never seen a God stop a war? And it dawned on me, it's like, how is this the house of God, but God never builds it? And if man doesn't build it, then it'll never get built, right? So remember, one of our things was human beings created the ideal of God. How come when there's major wars going on, why doesn't anything divine ever come out the sky to stop the war, right? And what you're looking at is people sacrificing each other to the deity they believe in. That's all you're looking at, right? How come America has nuclear weapons? How come when it's time to go to war, no one just prays? How come when it's time for peace, no, it's never caused by the divine? It's all human shit. I never seen a mosque, a temple, a synagogue, or a church built by divine sources. If humans don't build it, it will never get built. What am I saying? We have human beings are responsible for human beings. We are responsible for treating each other better. We are responsible for the wars. We are responsible for peace. And there is nothing in the sky or in the ground that is going to help us, that is going to save us. We have to take care of each other. Cool beans. Number 10. Entertainment is the most powerful religion. Entertainment. The singing, the dancing, right? The singing and the dancing, and you lose yourself in it, right? This is the religion, right? Of celebrity. Now, let me tell you how dangerous this is. When we look back on history, do you know that we are commenting on the lives of the elite? So when we talk of Egypt, we're not talking of the commoner. When we talk of Babylon, we're not talking about the commoner. When we talk about European families, the Medicis, right? We're not talking about the commoner. History records the 1% and the elite. When you come online and you build platforms talking about Cardi B, talking about Offset, when you are talking about all these celebrities' business, think about 20 years from now. Do you know what you did? You just erased yourself. You could have been positioning yourself as one of the world's great thinkers. You could have positioned yourself as a person that's putting something new to the table. Instead, only thing you did was build the reputation and the name of a celebrity, right? When history looks back, they're going to talk about LeBron James. They're going to talk about Elon Musk, Jay-Z, Oprah, right? Guess who they're not going to talk about? The common man and the common woman. So when you are on your platforms and you are reacting to a celebrity's divorce, understand you are taking your name out of the human story and you are raising the 1%. Think 500 years from now. Whose name will be mentioned? Right? They're not going to think about you. You're just talking about popular people. And in doing so, you are extincting yourself. Right? Even if your channel only had 50 views, this stuff lives forever. Someone's going to find you. Someone's going to find you. And something that you said in regards to your own ideals may have an effect on an individual years down the line, right? But if you only dive in to the religion of entertainment, you don't exist. You are a gossiper. You are watching TV and then coming online reporting about what happened to a famous person, but history already records the famous person. The only thing you do is just add metadata to that famous person's name, but you suffer. Talk about yourself. Talk about your ideals. Talk about your visions, whether they're controversial, cutting edge, it doesn't matter. Be in the me business, not the we business. Or you can continue being a minister in entertainment. But just remember, when history comes back and they look at this time period, you will not exist. Just Cardi, just Meg, just Tiger, just LeBron, just Derek Jeter, just J Lo, just Diddy, all famous people, just like yesterday, right? This is why you don't know the common life of people in Babylon, people in Egypt. You don't know the common life of early Americas. You know who you hear about? Thomas Jefferson, Benjamin Franklin, George Washington, right? What about the militiamen that fought the British? You don't know, right? That's number 10. Number 9. The only thing I can control is my mind. It took me years to realize that. Years. That, yo, I don't really have that much control in the world. I can't control the banks. I can't control the Federal Reserve. I can't control a lot of things that's going on in the world. The only thing that I really have control over is what I think about, right? And once you start to lose what you think about or the control of your thoughts, you lost, right? They can trap your body, but they can't trap your mind, right? So be careful who you give control over your thought process, right? And what's happening is people are waking up and begging people to think for them. If someone has to think for you, you will lose. Because the most powerful instrument, the most powerful weapon is a mind. And the most powerful person in the world is the individual that can control other people's minds. Right? Be careful the people telling you you're not free. Yeah, you're not free in the matrix and da da da. Yo, as long as I got control of my mind, y'all can have everything else. Just give me my mind. Right? Number 9. That was number 9. So we're going to number 8. This is the 8th thing that I thought or the 8 things that I've learned or my lessons turning 40. You will always take it personal where you're not doing business. I want you to notice something. I'm sure you've seen on social media. You have people arguing to an imaginary artist about different people, right? Man, that nigga, man, blah, 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 blah. Everybody's arguing back and forth, right? They're pleading their case to the crowd. Do you notice none of them don't have any products? Because if they had a product, that would be bad on their product to show up like that in the market, right? You always take it personal when you're not doing business because you don't have anything else, right? I'm sick of everybody in their phone. I'm sick of you. I'm going to expose you. I'm going to tell everybody the truth to the imaginary audience. And then the people pick sides. But do you notice no one's selling anything? See, when you have nothing to sell, the only thing you can do is take things personal. So in your regular life, you will always be caught up in drama. You will always be caught up in BS. You will always be in this conversation, in that conversation, unless you're doing business, right? When you're doing business, first off, you mind your own. And your primary concern is not talking to an imaginary audience. Your primary concern is profits. So how does going back and forth on with someone on social media, how does that drive profits? I just want to get my point across. Personal. I'm just living in my truth. Personal. I'm about to expose you. Personal. That's all personal, right? And you wouldn't do that if it was bad for business. But people don't have any business. So that's why people do anything. Because if you was attached to a product, you wouldn't do that, right? So remember, you'll always take it personal when you're not doing business. So please get some business, y'all, so you stop taking so many things personal. Number 7, when people say they won't, they really will. I'm sure you've heard this before. But when people draw this hard line about a specific topic and they pump every day that topic, I don't like this and this, that, and it's the same, they really like that. So when people draw a hard line on trans and they talk about that every day, they're interested in that. When people talk about, oh, these modern women, you really want one of them. When women come on here and talk, I don't mess with these men. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Right? Because where is the interest coming from? Right? I don't got no reason to be like, man, I don't drink no bleach. I don't mess with no bleach. That ain't even on my mind. Right? When people always discuss what they don't like, that's what they like, man. Who who builds a world like that where they're always talking about what they don't like, but you don't know what they do like? If you listen clearly, they're telling you what they like. Right? Especially when it's an unsolicited thing. Yeah, man, these women with these fake butts. Sir, you really want to touch one. You really are interested in that. Cause why what would compel you to you have a free timeline where you could talk about anything. Why are you talking about what you don't like? When people say they won't, they rarely will. All you got to do is try them just a little bit. Number 6, heaven and hell are mind states. This is kind of self-explanatory. I'll explain heaven to you. How do you feel when you hear that Cash App symbol go off? How do you feel when you see a bill in the mail and you can't pay for it? Next one. Simple. Heaven and hell are mind states. Number 5, you can never think outside the box. Somebody be like, Ken, what? You can't think outside the box? No. What are you watching me on? What shape are all the books in back of me? What did you grow up watching? Did you grow up watching the TV? It's a box, ain't it? When the teacher was putting the today's lessons on the chalkboard, isn't that a box? If you look at your car from an aerial view, is it a circle or a triangle? It's a box shape, right? Don't you come out of the box coming out your mom? The world is based on squares and circles. My head is a circle. My glasses is a circle, right? My bookshelf are squares, long rectangles, right? My table is a square. Phone is a square. Squares and circles. That's the building blocks of creation. Squares and circles. But you can never think outside the box because you'll always be in one. You ever been on the elevator? It's a box, ain't it? Right? When you go into a department store, what's the shape of it? When you go into a plaza, what's the shape of it? When you look down at from an airplane and you see cities divided, are they divided in hexagons? Like what's the shape of them? They're boxes. You will always be in a box because life is created with squares, right? They say standing on my square, right? My phone is a, right? My Carmex is a circle, right? You'll never think outside the box. I bet if we was to go outside of this realm and we can look at the entire universe, it would be a square or a square. It would be a circle in a square, right? You will always be in a box. When you go to the hospital, what kind of bed you lay on? A triangle bed? Rectangle, huh? When they bury you, what do they bury you in? A circle? A square? Square, right? Okay, copy. Right? You will always be in some type of box. Now, it's for you to figure out how to move in these boxes. But just when you think you're out the box, you realize that you're in one. and you can never stop being in it, right? Because the matrix is not what the government is doing. The matrix is a womb, and the womb is a box, and you will never get out of it, right? You go through it, right? Boxes. Everything is boxes. Boxes and circles. Squares and circles. That's what the world is built off of. Squares and circles. Okay? Number 4. Every man is emotional. It's funny that people only know like 3 emotions. I'm not mad. That's funny to me. Why is it always mad? You just mad. Everybody always think you mad. You just mad. Like that's the only emotion. You just mad. It's mad, happy, sad. Respect is an emotion. Did you know that? Trust is an emotion. When we say that women are emotional, it's because people can only see one thing. Outer expression and inner expression are still expressions. Just because the expression is happening on the inside, it does not mean that it's happening. So just because a woman might express joy, happiness, grief, she might express it in her face, in her body, and you hold it in, you're still expressing it. That's why you get ulcers. That's why you get sick. Because the emotions that you have, you're expressing it on the inside. But that's an energy going inward. What is it doing to your anatomy? It's crazy because people that when you there's an emotional will. Do you know how many emotions there are? Depression, anxiety, again, respect. So when people say a woman wants love but a man wants respect, they're both emotions. When you say I respect you, what is that? Can you touch it? It's emotion. Yeah, the man is logical. Nobody's born logical. Logic is a branch of philosophy. Logic is the way that you frame a conversation. Nobody's born that way. You have to be trained to think logically, right? If a man is logical, when does it kick in when he's a boy? Because I see boys and girls crying. A boy comes out the womb crying. He doesn't come logical. So all of a sudden, when he gets 25, boom, logic just starts kicking in. No, it's not. Logic is a branch of philosophy. Ayn Rand was logical. That's a woman. A woman can be trained in logical thinking. But people have to understand there's an outer world and the inner world. And you can see an explosion on the outer, but that explosion also is happening on the inner. Every man is emotional. There's never a time when you're not emotional. Even when you're sitting calm, you're still emotion. Still emotion going on. You're just holding it. But a woman might go, wee. But that same physical expression that she does on the outside, you're also doing on the inside. It's not a bad thing. You are leaving so much of your humanity on the table by thinking that you're not emotional. But you are, though. Very emotional. When you when you're in the barbershop and you arguing and your voice raises. Oh, that's not emotion. I'm just passionate. That's emotion. No, I'm telling you, dog. Man, 88, 87. Man, Jordan averaged 37 points. That's emotion, bro. Every man is emotional. And it's okay. Number 3. Number 3. Women are predators too. There are people that teach the man is a predator. The man is a predator. Okay, how can a predator be born unless it's born to a predator? So a female lion eats meat, right? She gives birth to other females and males that also eat meat, right? Female lions, female sharks don't give birth to herbivores. They give birth to predators. So if the man is a predator, but it comes out the woman is not. This is the lunacy in this. But here's the difference. Here's because you have the unseen world and the seen world, right? And if you don't study the unseen, you'll think it's the only word there. The male might hunt physically. The woman hunts in the unseen. If a woman can manipulate a child's emotion or a man's emotion in the unseen, that is also predatory. We are trained to only look at one thing. There is multiple worlds going on simultaneously. How do you know? Is it magnetism all around us? Right? Isn't electricity all around us? Sure. There's all type of elements all around us that we don't even see and we're not even aware of, right? But you never have, if you're going to be a real student, then you know things come in pairs. How can the man be a predator but the woman is not? Oh, men prey on women. That's true. Bigger species prey on smaller species, and women prey on children. That's what. But when you're in the cult of gender, you take offense to that. Oh no, I don't give a fuck. I'm an occultist. I deal with the meaning behind the meaning. Bigger things prey on smaller things, right? You go to a woman's prison, the bigger woman in there, you'll find out. What is she gonna do? Hug on you? Yeah, she gonna hug on you, all right. Large Marge. You know what I'm saying? You have to know thyself. Everybody's capable of being a predator. You have to know thyself. Everyone's capable of everything. It's knowledge of self. But if you think the other is different than you, then you'll make a mistake one day and be out and about and lose it. Oh, I'm not like that. How do you know? Who's telling you this shit? The man was a natural predator. Really? Then why every single day I see on TV a substitute teacher is touching on a little boy? But no, we don't want to talk about that. We want to pretend that women aren't doing that. Right? We're going to pretend that the conquistadors, the French, the English were not bringing back the spoils of war to women and they were not telling them to stop. We're going to pretend. We're going to pretend that these presidents that are married to women, when they're drone striking other countries, that the women are not on board. We're going to pretend. Right? I want you to come to in the full range of knowledge, the full spectrum. Don't ever let nobody finesse you. Because if you think a man is capable of something and a woman is not, when she burn you, you'll be like, oh. And if you think the man is not like this and the woman is something, and when the man burns you, nah, man. When you deal with a full range of knowledge, you understand that whatever you see animals do, humanity is capable of the same behavior. Each species gives birth after its own kind, right? Plant eaters give birth to plant eaters. Anything eaters, like pigs, give birth to anything eaters, right? Meat eaters give birth to meat eaters. How can somebody say, the man is this? The man comes out of women. She has to have his characteristics, right? And that's okay because it's knowledge of self, right? So women are predators, but they really do their work in the abstract. It's just something about a woman. You like, damn, you got a hold over me. But I like the man will put you in a physical hold, right? The woman has you in another hold, and you like, she ain't even around. How? What the fuck, right? So for 2024, each woman has to be real careful with your witchy behavior because even if you don't want to claim that, every woman has that capability to cook up in the abstract and do things to people and make people bend to your will, right? Don't abuse your power, especially to a person that don't know what they're dealing with. But roll the dice. If people can be offended, they will be. That's one thing that I learned. If people can be offended, they will be. Well, I don't like this, and I don't like that. Remember that. If people can be offended, they will be. Right? Be careful with that though. Remember I talked about communication, right? Be careful with that, y'all. Because if you're not careful, you may offend the wrong person and they can be in a position of power and they can affect your life, right? Just because you can say it, don't mean you should. Don't mean you could do it, don't mean you should, right? And for the people that get off of being offensive on social media, I've done that before. The people behind the screen are actual humans, okay? And you might have to stand on what you say. So always remember, because everybody's emotional, if people can really be offended, that's the first thing they're going to be. Because ain't nobody got time to be working on personal development and emotional intelligence. So if they can be hurt, they'll choose victimhood, okay? Remember that. Because I done had people pull up on me at airports and it wasn't no smoke, but I never seen them coming. And people have recognized me in public. Oh, Ken, what's up? They got the drop on me, right? So be careful about your words that you put out there because some people got time and resources to focus strictly on you. And unless you're going to stand on that, and last but not least, and I thank y'all for sitting through my 40 life lessons that I learned turning 40. There is nothing wrong with getting older. Up, typo right there. Let me fix that. This is number one. Like, if I had to do it again, I wouldn't be 21. I would be right here, 35 to 40. And there's nothing wrong with getting gray. There's nothing wrong moving out the way for the youngsters. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with transitioning. It's okay. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with growing, apologizing. There's nothing wrong with bringing it all together because at 40, you got to clean up your mess in your 30s and shit, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. And there's nothing wrong being an asset to the younger people and allowing them to use you. And you begin to graduate into elder mode because that's, you get here, you know what I mean? That's what we should be doing, in my opinion, is preparing to be the council. You know, our body starts to change, but our intellect grows. And there's nothing wrong with getting older. And everybody kind of want to do things to their image because it's all about youth. It's all about youth and trying to hold on. But people don't seem to understand that we spend the most time of our life old. You are older longer than you are younger. Remember that. You're going to spend more time as an older woman than you did as a younger woman. You're going to spend more time as an older man than you did as a younger man. It ain't nothing wrong with that. So 40, I just hit the 40 club. You know what I mean? And I'm going to do my best, right, to gracefully, you know, allow life to happen. And when the gray comes in, I'm going to wear it. Most importantly, I'm going to get out of the way of these youngsters. It's their time for certain things. So I'm not in the club with them. I'm not in the strip club with them. I'm not going after the same women as them. Those girls and those dudes need to make mistakes with each other. Right? All this, men, we want younger women. Okay, well, who these young boys gonna date? Who they supposed to be with? You know what I'm saying? And then when y'all use the young girls up, then now they're ran through. Who they gonna grow and make mistakes with? They gotta catch up with their kind. So let's get out their way and be discipleship, mentorship, right? And be what we are called to be, and as elders. Let me take it back for a sec. Had some people come through, put it on the wood. My most appreciations for JP on the $10 super chat. Appreciate you. This is our first video of the year. You definitely appreciate it. Thanks for coming to put it on the wood. This was my 40 lessons, turning 40. Shout out to my dog, Rob Blackstorm. Appreciate you, fam, with the 22.22 ties for the ministry. Stay shining. Salute, fam, to you and the family. 2024 is about multiplying. So shout out to you, fam. Man, Ebony came through on some baller shit with the 50 piece. Appreciate you on the $50 super chat. Ebony, this year is about multiplying. So I appreciate you with the 50 piece. Then we got Poppy's Little Princess. I have so much appreciation for you and your body of knowledge. I'm journeying to gold mine. Man, we really gonna take it there 2024. I appreciate you, and I hope you are along for the ride, and I hope that I can help you multiply for 2024. That's my mindset. So appreciate you, and shout out to you and yours. Claudia sent a super sticker. Peer character bowing down. Thank you, Claudia, and shout out to you and yours. This was my 40 life lessons, turning 40. And I hope that I get more, turning 50. And so when I do my 50th, it'll be a whole new, different thought process. Anybody that wants or that is looking for help and assistance in multiplying, go ahead. You can put yourself on my calendar. You can use the QR code, and it'll allow you to get past the paywall. Put yourself on my calendar, and I would love to help you multiply for 2024. And I want to tell you, war is fought in the mind. Never forget that. All wars are fought above the neck. If it happens any other way, then we lost. Much respect to you, even if you wish me the opposite. Sooner or later, we'll all see who the prophet is.